Hi there, friends. My name is Matthew Saunders, and I've completed a series of short videos about neurodivergence called My Neurodivergent Brain. This, sadly, is the 12th and last in this series, and it is called Epilogue. And while this is the last in this series, I'm already working on another project that I'll be sharing soon. And in the meantime, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter. You can see below the QR code to get to the channel, or you can use the bit.ly link. And I'd love it if you'd follow me on Twitter. I'm at Creech there. And I'm also got a presence on Mastodon now. I hope that my insights over the last, 12 weeks have been interesting. And if you've missed any of the previous casts, you can catch up on my YouTube channel. So, without further ado, let's get on to the last chapter of this series. Thanks very much. So, I was afraid to start talking about my own personal mental health challenges. I was frightened to discuss my learning disabilities. My neurodivergency was something that I heavily masked. I didn't want to be different. I didn't want to be perceived as being different. I didn't want my professional career or my personal relationships to be prejudiced or destroyed because of these aspects of myself. When I was a child, through the School of Hard Knocks, I learned to hide this part of me. I learned that I should put it away in a safe little corner. I learned that these were dirty little secrets that I should protect. Now, I'm going to bring this all the way back to my first video, because becoming a dad changed all of that. Because I had to talk about these things as my daughter's advocate. I talked about this, a number of weeks ago, that after being a few years clear of my cancer, my wife and I decided we wanted to adopt a child. We'd always known that we wanted to be parents. And we adopted through the foster care system because there are so many children in the U.S. that need parents. And we adopted a 5-year-old girl. She had had very difficult first few years of her life. And a lot of the issues that she had in many ways mirrored my own masked issues. So I wouldn't understand my own challenges if I hadn't been confronted with hers, and I had to learn everything that I could about her neurodivergence. So if it hadn't been for my daughter, I would have just continued coping, and I never would have understood my own ADHD and dyslexia. I certainly wouldn't have had the realization that I was on the autism spectrum, and I never, ever would have had the courage to talk about these things publicly at conferences. Nor would have I had the courage to do video casts like this one. So I have a few last takeaways for you before I wrap this up. And I'm going to start with some statistics. It's estimated that 1% of the population has autism spectrum disorder. And I'm going to bring this into software a little bit, because with software developers, and that's the industry that I work in, that jumps to 4% of us reporting that we have it. It's probably much higher than that. And then 4.4% of the population has ADHD. And it's estimated that as high as 20% of people have dyslexia. High-functioning autists gravitate to industries like software development. And I'm sure that you have these people in your life. And some of them are masking. So you might not even know who they all are. So keeping that in mind, I want you to use empathy. If you're on the spectrum, you have to work twice as hard to understand how people perceive the world, how others perceive the world. And if you aren't on the spectrum, you need to work twice as hard to understand how your autist friend, colleague, or partner thinks. Talk to them about it. Learn about it. Empathize with them. patience central to your life. Patience is a muscle that needs to be exercised, particularly in this crazy world that we're living in right now, where there's so much divisiveness politically and so on. So use that muscle. Those with ADHD and autism can become irritable way more easily than atypical people. And that can lead to outbursts of anger. Practically, this means if you're neurodivergent, you really need to be monitoring why you feel what you do. And if you're neurotypical, please help your friend by watching out for warning signs or triggers. Finally, kindness should be your go-to, even when you're feeling upset. Assume people are approaching a situation or a problem with good intentions, unless they prove otherwise. Please be kind. Thank you very much for following me on this series, and I'm sure I'll be doing other videos like this in the future.